Greetings everyone, please give me a moment to make sure everything's set on up. I'm having issues where apparently Max is not going to upload to live stream. Worry about that later. And the live chat windows. Looks like that's all good to go. And looks like everything's good to go. So let's go and get started. What's this one? Is that Demeter? That one. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Age Mythology replay. Spawn bottom left side as the red Demeter, we have Arthur Goodfellow. Spawn on right side as the blue Hades, we got Ryan Dobbs 16. We're all familiar with who Hades is, but Demeter is the new goddess. I guess it's a she? Or was it he? I think it's a she. Face looks a bit masculine, but that's definitely a chest. Goddess of harvest, so yep. So I'm not familiar with Demeter. Focus on expansion and resource gathering. Herdables improve favor gather rate when near temples, so collecting up herdables will provide you some favor. Towns and villages such as spawn herdables on age up, which is very nice, which actually could result in more village center play. Buildings build faster when close to gold mines, nice to have. +1 villagers that can work farms, so you can develop your farms with your villagers. Nice little discount, effectively make your farms half price. And village centers have additional HP and increase attack per garrison village. So your village centers are simply just a little bit better. Unique god power is Wither. Target location to wither berries, farms, trees, rendering the land sterile for a short amount of time. It says short amount of time. I wonder if the resource will maintain if when it subsides. I'm not sure, because we'll find out soon enough. Divine Labor. Yeah, gives more carrying capacity for wood and gold, and adds 18 to drop off healing. So healing them when they drop off resources can be nice. And yep, and of course let's just talk about Hades quickly enough, since we of course still have to cover him. Range focus buildings. Chance for human soldiers to return to shades. Myth units have hit points. Range soldiers have range and line of sight. Fortification has range and free burning ballistics and pitch. When it comes to the minor gods for Demeter, of course, we got Ares. Ares is available both by Hades and, of course, Poseidon as well. Pestilence is a decent god power. Overall, I'm a bit more of a fan of Ares as opposed to other minor gods. Cyclopes, Deimos Sword of Dread gives you early high passes, increase their damage. Phobos Spear of Panic, it is very nice, increasing your hoplites and Prodromos, primarily Prodromos, to give them divine damage. Make Prodromos a far more effective counter cavalry unit. And of course, you got Toxic's increased damage. Pan is, of course, the new minor god. Arcadian Meadow, target area to temporarily turn into a peaceful meadow. Units and buildings inside the meadow cannot attack. So it's a localized ceasefire, sounds like. That's interesting. Lycon. It looks like there's both male and female version. Looks like the wolf people. Build limit 12 out of 100. So it's a villager variant. So you get a unique villager variant. Myth unit villager. Improves gathering speed from huntables and herdables. Transform when in combat. So this looks like a were people. Costs 80, 115, so they're expensive. I wonder if they collect up faster, like the what's it called, the giants for the Chinese. Thorn Wall gives walls a bit of reflect damage, 3 damage hack when attacked by melee units, so nice little benefit, make walls a bit more useful. Be interesting, so a bit more turtle play. Pan's Pioneers. Pan's Pioneers emerge from towns that are built, and you get lichens upon building town centers and village centers. Very nice. And Predator Instinct. Pans upgrade lichens to alpha lichens, increasing their speed, attack, and allowing them to transform at will. Increase their adds 2 damage, melee damage. Yeah, just adds 2 to melee attack damage. For some reason I thought that's usually terminology used for multipliers, or percentages, or like a bonus damage. But in this case, just increase the base damage by 2 and speed by 20%. Interesting. We've got Athena over here. Athena provides Minotaur, and of course improves your infantry's range, pierce armor, and of course increases hoplites. What's it called? Speed? Oh yeah, I suppose you get new heroes here. You got Orphis for your initial god or hero, which is a range attacker who plays an instrument, a lute, I believe. So you get a range age 1 hero. Am I reading that right? Let's see, go against Smith units. Icarus, Arliss, and King Midas. Can convert defeated enemies to gold mines, so he has instant kill gold? Why am I curious about that? Was King Midas Greek? No, I actually don't know. Let's see, still has a glowing weapon when even hitting buildings. He has range damage, not divine damage, so it's not like priests. So, sort of interesting about that. There's a Lycon now. You can sort of see it does sort of... Oh, she's very growly. You can sort of... She is larger than other villagers, but still will the villager garb. You got the fluffy tail, not as fluffy as mine. It's interesting. Here's the sheep here, or the goats. Switch over. Let's see. Currently, 1 villager on favor. Yep, right there. Currently at 8. Wait, why is there a lot of dead spot there? Looks like maybe this major god's a little bit bugged out where it doesn't provide the symbol here. So it looks like they forgot to put a symbol here. Slight mistake there. It just looks off. And so the effect is verticals improve favor the gathering rate when near temple. So they just improve the gathering rate to this guy? Yeah, look, actually, they don't provide a favor. They just simply buff this favor here. Very interesting. We've got Norm the Minotaur. Of course, you get a free villager on Agent. Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, let's take a look at the collection rate. Let's see. Providing a 1.25. Okay, they do provide 25% increased gathering rate. Then again, they do have improved gathering rate, right? Myth unit villager improves gathering speed from huntables and herdables. Can they collect up other things? I see the lumberjack symbol. I see the gold mine symbol. So in theory, they should. Scout is still alive. Orphis here. Got some wait, are those heroic toxic? No, they're glowing. The toxates are glowing. Why are they glowing? Is Orphis fighting aura effect for them? Don't see any ability. Oh wait, here we go. Nearby human units receive a damage multiplier versus myth units. Okay, so an AoE multiplier. Very nice. I first thought I was like, oh, what hero is this? No, that's a Toxidate. My defense, first time a cast of this new hero. Happy, but looks like there's some global audio effects. Looks like there's the Lycon. It's probably the origin of the term lycanthrope. Running 350 health. No progress bar, so it looks like the effect is effectively infinite. Makes it so you get a decent, you can just you have no real issues going for these guys while when collecting up resources, but they can defend themselves. You can see these units being very useful. They do cost 15 favors, so that is quite high, I think, this age, in comparison to Northern Minotaur, which is 14, so ever so slightly cheaper. Let's say 350 health, 20 damage, versus currently 386. Looks like the Minotaur may got a health buff. That seems not normal health. 17 with a DPS of 15. These guys are currently at, whoa, Alpha Lycanthropes. So they get +2 damage of all types, including Divine. Is that a bug? That has to be a bug. They get plus... Yeah, that has to be a bug. That makes absolutely no sense. They get 2 damage melee, range, crush, and divine. That has to be bugged. Plus their attack speed's pretty high, but then again, let's just say back they get put down to 20 of 1 attack speed. They're probably a little bit too effective for their cost compared to the Minotaur, who had effectively the same base cost. Yeah, I think they need to be toned down a little bit. The +2 damage for all damage types makes absolutely no sense. It makes them probably too overtuned. And right now they're very similar performance to Minotaur, but even without the Alpha upgrade, they have too much deep damage, I would say. I think their damage to extra probably needs to be cut in half, honestly. And then I would say they're balanced. And the all damage type +2, that's gotta be bugged. Just say increase their damage, actually, increase their health. Increase the health by 20% rather than increase their damage by 20%, and I will say that'd be good. Why does this upgrade age up symbol looks like it's being researched? Like, it's dark gray, so it looks like that's maybe a little bugged in this patch as well. We got some sentinels here. Sentinels, of course, a good anti-raiding tool, though there's quite a bit of units here. Because remember, those lycanthropes, or lycons, they're also villagers. You can just continue, you don't have to bring the frontline army. These should be primarily a villager unit, not a combat unit. The ability to fight should be a secondary effect. They should be able to defend themselves, but not necessarily be a frontline unit as designed. So I would say they should be weaker in combat than Minotaur, at least. But yeah, reduce their damage down to 15 or 16 or to 10, and then I'll say they're good to go. And make the upgrade, and make sure the upgrade right here is not bugged, because that is absurdly strong now. 2 divine damage, 2 range damage. There's a whole bunch of damn types there, to say the least. But that's just gotta be bugged. Got a pile of upgrades here, including Aphrodite being selected for Hades. And what's the next minor god for Demeter? Got Aphrodite as well, so a lot of villager-based stuff. That's quite a good combo. Maybe a little bit overdone. Hestala. Summons a hearth that increases villagers' gathering and converts enemy units. That seems pretty good, pretty strong. Definitely economic effect, a bit more eyeing, but it's also probably pretty good for your farming line, as well as protection for your farms. Let's see, Hamadryad. So we got a Dryad, stealthy myth unit that when upgraded can hide as a tree while idle. Ooh, very fun, just as trees here. So we've got a Mirage tank. Focus on this fight. Good number of talk stays here. Talk stays, Hoplite's trying to engage. Handful of talk stays here. We do have the new minor god here, which I have to go back to once this fight is complete, just to give another look at it. Yep, back over here. Let's see. Cause farms exit town centers to give additional population. That's pretty strong. Upgrades, it says town centers. I wonder if it somehow also affects the village centers. That would be overpowered if it does. Hallowed woodlands. Upgrades dryads to sylvan dryads, which disguise themselves as trees, hide our opponents. Enable woodland cloak action. I don't know what that really means since they already sort of do that. Divine intervention, guys, archers, so the ricocheting arrows. Ooh. Looks like Ajax does go down there. Alpha Lycon does go to 420 health this age. Wait, does it get affected by survival equipment? I wonder, since they're a villager, it says transform into a villager, so it looks like they may not get the villager effects. I wonder if it gets affected by survival equipment. You wouldn't surprise if it does, but it probably, for balance wise, not a good idea. Looks like the Dryad does go down there. Aphrodite now being selected by Hades. Norn the Minotaur is still alive, looks like. Hoplites trying to engage. Got a good number of Toxdays here. Still just got regular Hoplites here, who actually has blacksmith upgrades. Norn the Minotaur has gone down, so does Achilles. And looks like this hero is Olios, which is the H2 one, which apparently he's on a chariot. Of course, the H2 one's going to be mounted cavalry units, which makes sense. He has a melee damage with a bit of range. Does fall off the hearth. Looks like just nothing too crazy myth unit or hero. I heard the hearth. Where is the hearth? I wonder if it's destructible or is it capturable. Health doesn't really matter, but its health is higher than 100, so it looks like destructible. These villagers are gathering at a 1.15 in comparison to his opponents. They're at 1.94. We got affected by ballistics. Looks like no mining research here. No mining research there. Baseball I can temporarily see. So nice 20% increase. Probably very good for farming. Though in comparison to other mythological upgrades, that's limited to a certain area, while other ones, say Winter Harvest from the Norse, is also 20% for farming. Got some Dark Age Hippus here. Toxates on the wall back. Got heavy Toxates. Nemean Lion. Curse. Nemean Lion does what any good cat does. Scream at its opposition. A number of farms established by Blue. Not really have to go for the field collection. There's still some resources on the field he could eye. But Red's sort of doing the same right now. Got a Pegasus here. Oh, so some research completed by Dimitri. Or no, just going for that now. This will of course give the 2 free... Oh, yeah, the 2 free population per farm. I wonder if this will affect. Let's see. If I click on a house, do I see... Excuse me. I guess we'd have to wait and see. Excuse me. 175. We'll just have to count and see how far it reaches out. I don't know what the radius is. Double stacking farms could be affected. Maybe just single stacking. Not sure at the moment. Looks like it's research. 1 up to 185, so it got affected by 5. So I'm guessing 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Yeah, double 5. No wonder this looks off. There's 2 villagers on top of the farms. I'm just getting a little bit mistaken there. But it looks like 5 of these farms are being affected. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. So these definitely these 4. So it's probably this one. So it looks like maybe 1 tile air gap at most. Here, farm's being created and deleted. Okay, it's not doing some weird bug thing. Habitat's now being queued on up by Dimitri. Yeah, it looks like the age up symbol, like it's dark now. Now it's super dark with a green bar in the background. Or then maybe that's just what it looks like when it's... Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit bugged out there to say the least. But nothing too crazy though. Going for another farm here. Not farm, settlement. Town center, blah. Another hoplites there. Peltas need to push way forward. They're here in good numbers. Another curse. So blue spawned out 2 curses. I mean drat. Got some hippists here engaged in the hoplites. Nemean Lion, however, stunning them. So we got Hoplite Peltas versus Toxte Hippus. And neither player's gone for Ares. We do have also Hepatus now queued on up. I suppose could have looked at the other major god for Dimitri. Demeter? Still don't know. Demeter. Plenty Vault has been blown in the field. What's up with the red effect there? Oh, there's Icarus. So Icarus throws out fire. Decent damage, pretty good radius. So he's actually a bit of a grenadier, a flying grenadier. Though he may fly too close to the sun. Oh, got a cow here. Where did the cow come from? Actually, a number of cows. He's starting to eat some of these units there. We have some more dryads being summoned on out. Black cannot speak. You need to take a look how effective they are in combat. Blue does spawn some restoration, get some good health restoration. The Colossus has went down. Ol Ilos, or how I pronounce them, has gone down there. Town center trying to go for masonry, but it is under siege. Red's trying to fall back a little bit there, taking some losses. We haven't seen King Midas just yet. Provide some Midas touch. I am curious what it says, like, spawns gold mines. Does it make it like a every entity that dies from him just turns into a mineable part for maybe like 75 gold or something like that? I have no idea. Blue goes for his own Plenty Vault. Oh, Icarus is raiding. He's also a flying hero. Now think about it. There's actually not many things that hard counters him. Like, he's probably more durable than a Nidhogg. If Icarus is a flying hero, he needs to lose that quite a bit of that range armor, I would say. Shades are quickly going down. As well as the AoE Divine bonus action versus Myth unit aura plus 5 times 5. That is quite significant. Yeah, I think Icarus' armor pod needs to be shrunk down to 15%. Another Colossus pawn in the field, so blue actually deployed out some Colossus. You now have now Ilos, and now King Midas now being pulled in the field. And there's the localized ceasefire. Oof. And it lasts for 240 seconds. Of course, he can't attack out of it from right there. There's also quite a bit of guys lush there, but still. That can be a double-edged sword now we can see there. But 240 seconds is quite a bit. But it also looks like too much like Gaia's Lush, so that may need to be adjusted. Dark Age Hippus there. Looks like King Mice has been put in the field somewhere. I don't see him in this formation though. We've seen some Hades Scalpeltus. I wonder what the Meter's unique unit is. Guess we'll worry about that later. There's Icarus coming over here. There's King Midas. Unique unit. Harpy? That's interesting. So you get a unique flying unit as your myth unit from the fortress. Going to need to take time to look at that. Here's King Midas. It's engaged in the Colossus. He's a good bonus damage there. And there's a Colossus. It becomes a 500 gold mine. Then again, that is a myth unit. I wonder if every unit's a little bit different. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Does that look a bit more golden now? Okay, looks like it went down there. No gold deposit there. Don't see another gold deposit at the moment. Idiopoly push me forward. I suppose they have okay damage against all these human soldiers, but still not great. 5 populars is definitely not worth as a combat unit like this. Villagers mine the Colossus. It's a bronze Colossus, not a gold Colossus. What is this, Age of Empires 3? Mining copper? I suppose in this case, bronze is has a bit of tin in it. 1/9 tin, or it's like 1/10 tin, because like 9 parts copper, 1 part tin. So that would make it 1/10 tin, right? I mean, that's 500 gold. That's not bad. The meter looks like going for more gold. Could be going for another Plenty Vault here. I don't know if there's another King Midas on the field. So you need to hold ground set. That's got to be a misclick. No, it's this. This is preventing them from fighting. Ugh. Okay, this ability is dangerous. I'm trying to think of what other weird possibilities you could do with it. You can't trap a Titan because Titan has push priority. They'll just shank in the siege tower. You have to put this in your back line and just cause. And it may have been better to put us somewhere around here, but of course, it's used to defend the town center. It's become a bit of an issue. It's already subside though. That is very long. Yeah, I'm curious about those harpies. There's some of those brigands. See, unique units of harpy. Ranged myth unit. Attacks from air abducts enemies can only target by ranged units. Okay, simple enough. And upgrades. The meter upgrades harpies and Niflheim harpies, which are faster, carry units for longer. Alright, simple enough. I have no idea how that mixed on in. You have a lot of things you want to spend your favor on, and you got those. Here's brigands. They have 720 health, 12, 12, 1, actually 110 range. And they do melee damage at range. Okay, that's interesting enough. Of course, they can hide like trees. Ajax is pretty good against them though, and looks like the meter does back out the game. It's Angry saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Even more, I need adjusting over here. Why is it saying initializing failed? Oh, that's a long game. Probably, yep, players who don't know how to attack each other. These names speak out to me. Well, I for that one for now. Back that one. Which one was it again? Game may have subsided. Go do this one. Angel 5 Angel. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Age Mythology replay. Spawn on the bottom left side as Blue Zeus. We got 5 Angel or V Angel. Spawn on the top right side as the Red Poseidon. We have Amphibian Surfer. Of course, got a lure here to lure on all these zebras to be eaten, to say the least. When it comes to the major and minor gods, of course, Zeus is the focus on infantry and heroes. You start with a bit of favor, gain favor faster. Mythos cost one's population, very good there. Infantry do 60% increased damage versus buildings. Nice to have, and hoplites just move faster. And his unique upgrade gives his heroes additional hit points and a little bit of health for gen. And of course, we all know Bolt. Poseidon's, of course, cavalry and economic focus. Spawns militia upon losing buildings. Your cavalry, caravans, and Mithras get increased speed per age. Markets and stables are cheaper. Markets have better exchange rates and get a free hippocampus, which is not going to be important here. Of course, we do have Lord of Hordes to give your cavalry increased line of sight and a little bit of health regen. Nothing too crazy, but very nice to have. When it comes to major and minor gods, of course, Zeus can get access to Athena. Athena got access to Restoration, Minotaur, Aegis Shield increases infantry, pierce armor, and of course, hoplites increase damage and range. And both players have access to Hermes, Ceasefire, Centaur, Sylvian Vor. Of course, you get free Pegasus here and increase in speed and line of sight, making it even better. And you can increase cavalry and speed and damage. Generally, Hermes is probably a bit more likely selected for Poseidon, who can get Hermes as well as Ares. Ares, of course, provide Pestilence, Cyclopes, Deimos, Sword of Dread, early high passes, which probably can be quite nice versus what was his face? Zeus, since he's more infantry focused. Phobos Sphere Panics also very nice for Poseidon. After all, it makes your Prodromos get +1 divine advantage. Also, your Militia and Hoplite get 1 divine advantage as well. So Ares is still a good choice for Poseidon. And of course, you get Innos Boar's Horror, make your Tox a little bit better. I'm generally more biased towards Ares, but Hermes is a good argument for Poseidon, since that can also fix his new cavalry and the Hippus. And when it comes to relics, if Red has picked up a relic, it is the Titan's Treasure. Your age ups are 10% cheaper. Ooh, that's pretty good. You got Trojan Gate Hinge. And of course, with that, now his next age up is cheaper, so him going for the hero, he probably scouted down, it's like, oh, I should grab that immediately. Takes up Emo Head. Buildings are constructed 10% faster, which is okay. And the last relic over here is Head Orifice. Line of sight. That's, yeah, this relic's probably the best on the field. The other relics are just not great. Wall hit points of 40% is still pretty nice though, since initial wood walls are pretty fragile. Zeus is going for Hermes. Poseidon not aging up just yet. Both of these major gods can also go for Dionysus next age, which is good for cavalry plays. So Zeus can make cavalry work. Poseidon's also aging up to Hermes as well. Looking at some delicious giraffes. I wonder how giraffe neck meat tastes. We also got some chickens here. His villagers can be meat wizards and turn chicken into chicken. And a handful of goats here. Goats, of course, the goat, but Red has a lot of goats. All should eye for husbandry and get all these goats a husband. Double Pegasus by Poseidon. And we've got actually some Centaur being put on the field by Zeus as well. Also going some Hercules. And Poseidon's not aged up, though he does have Thesis on the field for defense. Of course, Age 1 heroes are not great. Winged Messenger now being researched. Taking some damage there. With double Centaur here, of course Red Centaur will be outnumbered. Get some good damage there. One of the villagers do go down. There's Atlantia. Atlantia's the fast hero. She does move a 5.6, which is almost the same as Centaurs. Granted faster than Zeus Centaurs. Ooh, bolts Atlantia. An excellent bolt there. Ceasefire there saves a Centaur, and he needed a ceasefire. He was getting hit pretty hard. The late age up was painful for Poseidon, that's for sure. Maybe try to squeeze out watchtowers. Going for stables. Eyeing for some Hippus there. He has 15 seconds. He's also lacking a bit of food. He can cancel on the Hippus to go get the other queue going. 3, 2, 1. Thess is here. Jason and Hercules trying to hit some of these villagers. They will shank the Centaur. Thess is going to be quite outnumbered. Red is now going for another Centaur of his own. Hippus now being deployed on the field. Blue's trying to rotate around. 2 Centaurs. We got some hoplites here. Of course, they have a little bit of bonus influence buildings. Nothing too significant in this age, but still quite nice to have. Hippus here. Hoplites are technically a counter to the cavalry, but not really. Plus 25%. It's not a massive counter, more of a soft counter at this point. But they're generally a pretty good journalist infantry either way. More hoplites in the build queue for blue. Red Centaur could be very nice help you with all the hoplites. Hippus will have a bit of trouble. Probably squeezing out a archer range is not going to be very likely. Village trying to escape out of there for all that delicious meat. Watchtower has definitely been needing that. Going for the backline chickens. Try and pull back the militia. Trying to just get an extra bulk on the field. Medium infantry now being researched by Zeus. Hoplites, perhaps push too far forward. He can be picked on off. He has a lot of things nearby. Blue can't be splitting up his forces like that. Does not have access to a ceasefire. Another stable goes down, pulls back those militia. Couple wounded centaur there. Scout down south. Building some more archery ranges. Blue is now advancing on the left side. We do have a Pegasus here. Delicious giraffe meat, neck meat being obtained there. I wonder how giraffe actually tastes in real life. Same thing with Pegasus. How does Pegasus taste in real life? Clearly both of the are mythological units, because we ever heard of an animal that has a really, really long neck? Now think about it. It has no survival aspect. It is purely meant for vanity. And that part's actually true. The giraffe necks are actually a vanity trait, like peacock feathers. It had nothing to do with trying to reach up high to eat trees. Looks like the heroes do get trapped there. Jason manages to escape on out of there. And Hercules has gone down. That's not Jason's organ. That joke was not original, and I couldn't even do it right. It's not Argon, not his problem. Yeah, that was not an original joke, and it was horribly done. We do have, looks like Apollo queued on up for Zeus. Manticore are very nice. He could also be, the sun rays also be used for the centaur he has on the field. Healing Temple could be very nice as well. Zeus or Poseidon will very likely age up with Dionysus to get the Tharkian horses. Got a lure now established in the field, another lure, which also summons some chickens. And something I always forget, that if you zoom on berry bushes, you see butterflies. Got some stables being pulled in the field. Looks like Poseidon's eyeing a bit of stability in his life. Oh, centaur here, getting a bit of damage on these units. And this settlement is, or towns that are being built, the Pegasus can't really exist there for too much longer. Blacksmith deployed in the field, going for copper shields for Zeus. Right now, Poseidon's army of Hippus and Toxtes, so Zeus could go for his own Hippus, help counter. Peltask could be a possibility, but Hippus in this case would be not only be on somewhat equal footing versus the other Hippus, but also be able to counter the Toxtes. Zeus is researching crenellations. Looks like, there we go. Zeus, Poseidon's been having population issues. 41 versus 36 villages. Both players are pretty low still, but now Zeus has a secondary town center, and Zeus is now aged on up. Has decent gold reserve as well. Low in food and wood, though. Those are running out of delicious giraffe neck meat there. That's all 5 of his villagers collecting food right there. So plenty of chickens back here from him to obtain. Pegasus does take a bit of damage there. Pegasus does get shot down. I don't know why that monkey there looked like a dwarf. Ugh, my mind's getting a little bit melted. Lord of Horse has been researched, so now got a little bit of health regen on these hippos. Right now, these hoplites are moving at a speed of 4.9. Hippos right now are moving at a speed of 5.7. And we got these forces pushing along the flank. Hippos being engaged here. Oh, another ceasefire by, this time by blue, the other ceasefire. The most epic ceasefire song. We do now have the fortress now being established now. Zeus needs more food to age on up, as well as a bit more gold. Poseidon actually has plenty of gold. Need more food for an age up. Manticore firing away. Now he knows what god. I suppose it does pop up saying, oh, when age up through the advancement of certain god here. But now seeing the Manticore, if he didn't get that earlier, he definitely knows it now. And Poseidon still actually aged through 2. Now think about it, he needs a lot more food before he can age on up. Red's pushing his way forward, has a good amount of force here, but the force is going to be a bit of an issue for him. Cleans up a number of villagers. Centaur has been shot down. Oh yeah, Poseidon does also have cheaper age ups, thanks to that one relic. Taking out some of these villagers. Zeus is now going for heavy infantry. Toxae is being picked off by the town center. Right now, Zeus probably doesn't really need heavy infantry at the moment. He does not have enough forces to warrant it. Taking those resources, spending into units would be a bit better at the moment. The Red's going to fall back now. And Zeus is going to transition to some farms. E-I-E-I-O. Berries here can still be obtained. Poseidon's currently just going for more Toxae. He's playing wood and gold for them. He needs more food to get the age up going. He has queued up Dionysus. Dionysus is now being researched. We do have some more Hippos on the build queue. Blue's also going for Hippos as well. He has aged up, so Prodromos wouldn't be half bad either. A large number of Toxaes. Prodromos wouldn't necessarily counter Toxaes, but at least they would offer a different damage type that Toxaes cannot counter. And these Hippos are so Dark Age by Zeus. These Hippos are engaging, raiding some villagers. Right now they have 13 damage, these Dark Age ones are at 11. Zeus right now has 158 favor. That is a lot of favor. Of course, he does also have one less population, so I think Manticores are pretty good myth units for Zeus. Because it'd be a 3 population Manticore. Do you have the Sylvan lore now being researched, giving us look at pole marks? Red is massing more forces, various upgrades by Poseidon. Zeus is now going for Spirited Charge. We do now have some medium Prodromos now being on build queue for Zeus, which is very good, I would say.
Λέγε.
Does take out some of these hippos there.
Πρόσταγμα.
Or Prodromos being deployed in the field. We do have a fortress here now established. Lure can still be used as a food drop off of these farms. Wait. Oh, Lure can research text? Has it always been like that? Yes, it can. Sort of wish that Lures also occasionally spawns out chickens. I think that'd be a great way to buff it a little bit. Enough for one village to gather up at all times. You now have Hydras being pulled up by Poseidon. Looks like Poseidon's going to hail Hydra. We got another ceasefire by Zeus. He did have, and still does have good stockpile of favor. But looks like he's going to use this time to not rotate these forces, whether it be forward or sideways. These hippos now rotating around over here now. Got some Prodromos here by red. Not too many though. Blue has a superior number of Prodromos. Hydra will pose a problem. Zeus can deal with the myth units respawn up. Bronze there by red. That's going to cause some issues. Blue should try holding it out. Ceasefire still on cooldown. He has enough favor for it, but on cooldown. Hydra needs to start gauging the structures. Has a bit of crush damage to work with. Odysseus looks like what's going on down there.
Πρόσταγμα.
Bronze better wear off, or the forces will be going down as well. Blue's now trying to respawn. Hippos and Prodromos push forward. Does manage to keep the villagers out. Hydra does go down. Red's Prodromos reinforcing. Red's managed to maintain and keep his toxins quite safe. He could have entered the fortress of his Hippos and eject on the far side and flank the archers. And the archers would have been very good. A couple Hippos, fresh Hippos being spawned out over here, getting some good hits on those toxins. Fortress trying to take some damage here. Blue's sort of hanging on, but taking a lot of damage there. Fortress does go down. And some of these villagers are starting to be picked on off. Another Hydra pushing way forward, bashing his head against the town center. Zeus is going for a large amount of favor here. He does have one relic inside, which makes buildings construct faster. Why don't that affect the Titan Gate? Either way, Zeus is pretty close to aging up, but I don't think it'd be a good idea to age up when he's this far behind a military count. Though a Hera Lightning Sword could help him stabilize the game. More Jasons, more Hercules being queued on up. Some of these outlying structures are being cleaned on up. Oh, we do now have the underwater passage. That's what Zeus is eyeing. Eyeing for a counterattack. Way up here. Of course, hoplites do have a bit of bonus damage for structures. And Zeus is now aging up, going for Hepatus, not for Hera. We'll take out the fortress, but... And looks like we're going straight for the underworld passage. Traps a good number of the hoplites there. Very nice. Those is trying to swarm around. Yep, this underworld passage gave Zeus some breathing room, but that's about it. Taking out a fortress like that's nothing too significant. I don't think he has Healing Temple research either. So, can't be healing up these units at the moment. He has so much favor stored up. Yeah, we'll have enough for a Plenty Vault, and we'll almost have enough favor for another Plenty Vault. This is way too many villagers in favor, I would say. There are 17 villagers in favor. Some of the units are very nice. Colossus not like one you want to spam out. Manticores is one you want to spam out, but I have he's starting to kill some Manticore now, but he still actually had that queued up and still have the 200 favor, 300 favor. Right now it's maximum population. No fortified town center. He only has the one town center actually in the moment as well. He's now aged on up, has a free Colossus, Plenty Vault summon, underneath some farms. We do have... Did they change Artemis? That looks different. Then again, maybe just use the old Gold Edition Artemis. Because that just looks different. Am I crazy? Maybe not. Then again, it's actually been a while since I've seen somebody actually queued up Artemis. So usually Hepatus has been in season for quite some time. Earthquake God Power is very useful to say the least. Pegasus will be shot down. Got a two-headed Hydra there. Manticore firing away. Don't think Summery has been researched just yet. And that's a pretty good mythological upgrade. Blue casts another ceasefire there. I'll save his villagers over here, so 2 for 1. Artemis is now being researched. Blue sort of just standing there menacingly. Looks like bronze and ceasefire will subside at about the same time. No watchtowers, let alone crenellations, help out with defense. And the Prodromos can stick around for now. Got the Hoplites for 4, gives good damage. Colossus here for his siege damage. We do have, of course, the Manticore firing away. Prodromos picking off some villagers. Red ceasefire. That's interesting. Sunray's now being researched by Poseidon or Zeus. Very nice. He almost enough favor for his secondary Plentyvolt. And it's almost off cooldown while at it. He is low on wood. So Plentyvolts would be very nice. He actually needs wood for more farms if you so choose. Plentyvolts may not provide plentiful enough for wood. 3 Manticores firing away, gains some great damage. Artemis almost complete. Got multiple fortresses here by red. We got a large number of Mire drones being put up by not this fortress, but another fortress. Yeah, I would just say save up for another Plentyvolt. You're pretty close to it. Oh, it looks like Plentyvolt got nerfed. I thought it was 4 for each. And it looks like it got nerfed down to 3.5 for each. Pegasus does get shot down. Multiple military academies going up. Got a pile of research here.
Πρόσταγμα.
Picking off more of these Toxdays. Got the Bellerophon attacking. Red starting to advance his way forward. Good no Toxdays and going for some high passes as well. Makes his way to this town center, so it looks like a bit of a base race situation. Mire drones standing to engage. They have good divine damage, to say the least. This is the side of the... Oh, there's Earthquake targeting right there. He may also grab him. Red may grab himself a Plentyvolt. Blue's pretty close and more favor for another Plentyvolt. However, the temple did get destroyed. Red's now pushing way forward over here. It's definitely a base race situation. Bolts, the Manticore, not a bad idea. Was it the first bolt? No, that was the second bolt. First one was a Lantia that got bolted. Still no watchtowers, but I should have gotten at least watchtowers going. Crenellations would have been very nice as well. Still got Dark Age High Passes for red. This town center has gone down. Of course, got the watchtowers here causing issues, filled with delicious villagers. Barracks gonna go down here. Another underworld passage there to withdrawal. Looks like he's using the withdrawal. Does obtain this town center here. An extra fortifications nearby wouldn't be half bad. Blue now has 4 town centers, 250 population. Red's now taking on this town center here. And now the donkey caravans need to be retasked this one. Taxation pursue these guys over here. Gain some damage onto these Tuxdays. Not these Manticores are quite damaged. Armory's gonna go on down. Manticore's getting some great splash damage. Which they don't do splash damage, they just have a large weapon spread. Hercules will go on down here. Did a good job holding line, now the Manticore gets more damage going. Could see some catapults, petrol bolts over here. Red's gonna go for this town center once again. Those can make his way over there. Donkey caravans very much idle there. That's not good. Plentiful still in Blue's hand, but that should be changing relatively soon. Unless the Red has now obtained the Plenty Vault. Blue now has a pretty good amount of wood and gold stockpile with some food to work with. Poseidon has a good stockpile of food and gold as well, with some wood to work with. Zeus has now consumed all of his favor. And for more Myrodromes, not from this fortress, so I'm not sure which fortress he's booting Myrodromes from. Unless that is the, oh yeah, it is that one, just that I don't have him select, that's why I don't see the Myrodromes popping up or queued up there. Myrodromes are nice and all, but they're not the end-all be-all unit. Idle Village is not good. Better than nothing. Would be collecting berries, chopping wood, collecting up a handful of gold.
Έτοιμος. Λέγε.
Still Dark Age Hypastus here by Red. He needs to get medium, if not medium rare. Fastest and Lantia not being queued on up. Got Polyphemus and Hippolyta advancing over here. Sounds like a great idea. Prometheus relies quite a bit on armor. And Myrodrome bounce back and forth. And the divine damage will rip apart the heroes. Red's now advancing over here. Got Champion, Toxface, and Dark Age Hypastus. Blue's not going for large enough Peltas. And Blue has enough resources for a Titan Gate. And partial task 8 villages on the temple there. Blues will now reobtain the Plenty Vault, very important. It's quite plentiful in resources.
Απόσταγμα έτοιμος. Έτοιμοι.
Heliopoli has taken some damage. Peltas or Hypastus trying to counter the Toxdays. Exes are having a bit of a meet-up there. More Myra drones being summoned out by Zeus. Over here trying to go for another town center. Getting those farms up and running will help out Zeus' food income. It also still has a good number of idle villagers here. Yep, donkey caravans. Yep, there they are. We do now finally have medium Hypastus. Keep us push way forward, trying to engage those Hypastus now. More barracks over here being established. Town center, going straight for another town center, very nice. This will put him up to 250 population versus 210. Zeus is not really doing a good job of macro though. He's been relying on single queues of Myra drones. He has still plenty of spare population, soon to be like 70 spare population space. Just getting barracks out and just spamming out hopwise will be better than not doing anything. Though yeah, actually just mostly as gold with a bit of favor. Maybe Colossus? No wait, yeah, he has gone Rapitus, so maybe Colossus could be a possibility. I could see him. I do see why he would be going for another Plenty Vault. But needs to go for a build more than just one queue, to say the least. Myra drums, they do build relatively quick, don't they? 4 seconds, yep. We also got Belphoron and Odysseus being queued on up. Still a bit of gold here for him to obtain, 500. Fortress there, we do have a storehouse here, just to get a bit of wood going. Red, maybe I'm sending some villagers over here, maybe trying to go for the Plenty Vault, maybe trying to go for this. I don't know if the Plenty Vault is in the sphere influence of the town center. Zeus could take time and use that fortress to build some Petrobolos to help deal with all these structures. Blue's now pushing forward, does take up the fortress there. And Blue's trying to push his way forward. Number of villagers in the range. Does go for bronze, however a good chunk of this force is out of range. If it's not pushing forward, they're not under influence of bronze, I believe. Yeah, Toxies are 60-60, these guys are 38-38. It's not global ability bronze. Ceasefire summoned out by Zeus. And I just realized my hard drive space is rapidly shrinking down. It says 10 minutes left. One of this game will be done in 10 minutes. Or do I need to sneak a couple file deletions during the ceasefire? Pull up a folder. To delete these handful. And empty recycling bin. There we go. That should give me about some gigs to work with. Hip is pushed right forward, trying to get the Hypastus. Tox stays in the back line, firing away. Red looks like trying to push his way forward, going for more forward fortresses by Red. Myra drones, of course, very good combatants, able to ignore all of your opponent's armor. Another ceasefire. Wait, was it blue or red ceasefire last time? Oh yeah, the blue's still on cooldown. This has been a game where I don't think I've ever seen this many ceasefires. Zeus has 24 villagers in favor. Of course, does provide diminishing returns after 8. But still, going for the second Plenty Vault would be very nice. How many times do I have to say that? Either way, right now, Red is at a very little population in the field. 37 military units. He has not a lot of gold, so gold is his big issue. He has not been going for donkey caravans, so he has still 8,000 wood. Sell off 6,000 wood and go from there. He has 20 villagers in favor. Of course, he's not gone for Aphrodite, so maybe at this rate, Centaur is what he needs to put on the field. They cost wood. Hydras cost food, and Chimeras, do they cost wood or... I can't remember what Chimera cost. I think it's different than Gold Edition, so... Because beforehand, I think they cost gold. It could cost wood now, I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out a little bit later. Taking out the fortress there, Blue's trying to break on out. The donkey caravan's been very useful for him, not to mention the Plenty Vaults. Got a Centaur here. Going for multiple Centaurs now. However, the Centaur is a little bit unsupported. The militias come out to support him. Centaur down. More Mire drones queued on up, going for another Belphoron. There's a temple. Managed to get 3 relics there. The last relic is out in Blue's old original base, sitting on the ground. Blue's also going for Centaurs and going for the Secret of Titans. Let's see, Chimeras cost food. And looks like Red does back the game now. The Zangrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. I'm probably going to end the stream a little bit early. I need to clean up some hard drive space because I'm actually running out of hard drive space. So that shall be it for me tonight. The Zangrade saying, thank you for watching.